A big story at the moment. Indian Air Force has added another feather to its cap as Operation Sankat Mochan has successfully evacuated 156 Indians from South Sudan's capital, Juba. Under the operation led by Minister of State for External Affairs, General V.K. Singh, the first rescue aircraft landed at Thiruvananthapuram around 5 this morning. The C-17 Globemaster will reach New Delhi around 10 a.m. Earlier, the External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj said that both the aircrafts will reach New Delhi today. She further added that Indian Railways and the Air India will facilitate the onward journey of the evacuated Indians.
When we landed out there, 156 have come out with us. There are about 30-40 people who had already booked their tickets. And once the commercial flight started, they have taken those because the tickets were already there. And there are about 300 people who do not want to get evacuated because of the business concerns and other activities that they have out there.
And speaking on the occasion, the Minister of State for External Affairs has said that India is in touch with the South Sudan government for the safety of Indian nationals. He further added that all steps are being taken for their safe return of the Indians from South Sudan.
I also met the Vice President of South Sudan and spoke about the situation out there. He gave me a rundown as to how things have happened and what they are doing to ensure safety and security in Juba and rest of South Sudan.
And let's go across to our correspondent Amritpal Singh tracking developments on that front. Amrit, 156 Indians stranded in South Sudan's capital, Juba, which has witnessed clashes over the developments there in the country, have been evacuated safely. The government had been monitoring, a day-to-day situation there in South Sudan and ensuring that Indians there are safe. They have reached Thiruvananthapuram at 5 this morning. There's safe evacuation. No Indian is left behind, is what the government had aimed at.
The effort of the government, Nancy, that no Indian should be left behind, though about 150 odd Indians have expressed their wish to stay back, which prompted External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj to tweet yesterday evening that, please leave now or later evacuation might not be possible. The situation could worsen. So now is the right time to leave. So the government is trying to convince those who want to stay back because people would not want to leave their homes, their businesses. It's understandable. They assume that situation would become better and so they would want to stay back. But the government on its part is trying to convince all Indians. There are about 600 of total Indians there, about 450 of them in Juba, capital Juba, and the rest of them in other places to leave. So right now the first plane, as you said, arrived in Thiruvananthapuram this morning, this morning. Now it is on its way to Delhi. It will be arriving here around 10 o'clock, 9:45, 10 o'clock. A total of 154 passengers were on board. 85 of them deplaned at Trivandrum. They belong to Kerala and neighboring states. 69 of them are coming here. I'm right now standing outside the Air Force Station Palam in Delhi, where the plane will land. The Indian Air Force plane will land. The Ministry of External Affairs has arranged buses here. They shall be taken to either the airport or the railway station, depending upon what mode of travel people have chosen to go to their home cities.
Amrit, if you can also give us some input on the nature of challenges involved in such an operation. End of the day, it is an evacuation from a conflict zone. Please tell us what kind of challenges is the Indian Air Force facing while it is evacuating Indian citizens out of Sudan?
Shubhendu, there was a slight disturbance in the voice. Could you please repeat your question?
Yes, Amrit, I was asking if you can give us an insight into the challenges faced by the Indian Air Force in this operation. It is, end of the day, going to a conflict zone in South Sudan and rescuing Indians.
Well, yes, there are always challenges to evacuate people from a conflict zone because there are warring parties and, you could come under attack. But thankfully, the Juba airport is secure and well in the hands of the South Sudan government. So But the challenges really are not the Air Force. Is not the Air Force that's facing. It's the challenges are being forced mostly by the Ministry of External Affairs and the Indian embassy there,
right,
which is having a difficult time trying to convince people to sort of come on board and leave right now, because the Indian government might not be able to evacuate them later. The Air Force on its part, I mean, it's for example, it did a refueling in Uganda, had to stop there, but apart from that, the Indian Air Force is quite capable of leading such evacuation process. One such process very successfully carried out again by the Minister of External Affairs, General V.K. Singh, was in Yemen. So, I mean, that ways the Air Force is pretty well equipped to carry out this evacuation process. Shubhendu?
Right, Amrit, thank you very much for joining us with those inputs. So, successful beginning of Operation Sankat Mochan. 156 Indians have been evacuated from South Sudan. They'll be reaching Delhi via Thiruvananthapuram shortly.